Ladies and gentlemen, so this week you can get the Infinity Reality Stone, which boosts all tiers of Hawkeye that you own, and very fortunately this week I do have a 5-star version of the character at rank 4, because last week Iron Man sucked, man. He was just such a disappointing one. The Mind Stone was nowhere near as powerful as the Soul Stone with Captain America, and having done a little bit of testing so far, Hawkeye's a little bit better, but still Captain America is by far the most powerful, and I think Hawkeye is arguably a little bit underwhelming for some of the opponents, but we're going to showcase all of the matchups here, so you can see Hawkeye versus MODOK Thing and also Yellow Jacket. Now, what Hawkeye gets is a lot of damage output potential and a fair bit of ramp up as well. So for each hit on the combo meter, increase the potency of new damaging debuffs by 1%, and critical hits are going to refresh all damaging debuffs. Now, all of your attacks have a 20% chance to inflict bleed, which deals a very small amount of bleed damage as direct damage over 6 seconds, but again this goes up by 1% for every single combo that you've got on the meter, and also if the opponent is immune to shock, bleed, or incineration, those abilities instead inflict a degeneration debuff, dealing direct damage over 10 seconds. Again, it's not really too much here, but this is useful, especially for mitigating some of the regeneration on the Thing matchup. And then we also have Alter Reality, so after activating a special attack, it alters reality and generates one combo shield lasting for up to 12 seconds based on the number of power bars spent. While the combo shield is active, Hawkeye gains an insane amount of crit rating, like almost 14k crit rating there, but also pretty much all of the nodes have Pilfer as well, so there's a high chance to instantly consume this, or a reasonable chance, a 20% chance there, so not, you know, the biggest chance in the world, and instantly give the opponent a little bit of power as well, so you need to be a bit aware of that. And also combo shield is not applied if the same special attack is activated twice in a row, so something to maybe keep in mind there. Also, we got the special attack 1, all bleed and incineration debuffs are removed and reapplied as shock debuffs, dealing direct damage over 10 seconds. While shock and aura is active, critical hits generate up to 100% more power based on the number of shock debuffs on the opponent. And then we have the special attack 2. All shock and bleed debuffs are removed and reapplied as incineration debuffs, dealing direct damage over 10 seconds. While hot and heavy is active, the opponent generates up to 100% less power when struck by critical hits, depending on the number of incineration debuffs. Then finally we got the special attack 3, which all shock and incineration debuffs are removed and reapplied as bleed, dealing direct damage over 10 seconds. And while bruised and bloody is active, critical hits have a 100% chance to inflict bleed on the opponent, dealing direct damage over 10 seconds. And again, if you can't bleed, you're going to degenerate, and the special attack 3 is pretty good for damage ramp up, considering that all your crits as well are going to refresh debuffs, which is very nice there. So now that we've covered the abilities, let's jump into the very first matchup here. We've got Yellow Jacket, and Yellow Jacket, out of the 3 opponents, is by far the easiest one to deal with, man. He's really straightforward, and Hawkeye's special 1 is great just for kind of pushing that tempo, you know, continually draining that special 1 so that you don't need to bait it out. And I do realize, for the sake of today's video as well, I am using a 5-star rank for Hawkeye, and I think this kind of does follow the same suit as the previous week, where if you don't have like a maxed out version of this champion or a rank 4 champion, you're just gonna have a really bad time, man. Like last week was really buggy as well. There was a notice about like a reduction in difficulty, but all that seemed to do was like remove a few nodes off the Sabretooth and Domino path. So yeah, I'm not really too sure, you know, what was properly going on there. But you can see, regardless, you know, this Yellow Jacket fight is pretty straightforward. It's really the next MODOK fight that I found the most annoying, and it took me about like 4 or 5 tries to actually get him down because he was being such a pain in the ass, and I was having a few combat lag spikes here and there as well. But this MODOK has kind of enhanced force field, so you can only get rid of his auto block by using a heavy attack, which means that you need to parry or use a special 3 in order to get his force field down. So yeah, he's just really annoying annoying, and also he has the dulled node, so he reduces critical hit chance when he's got a debuff on him by 50% there. So yeah, MODOK's really annoying. I didn't really understand what they were going for in terms of strategy here, or kind of what the way to fight this dude is, because Yellow Jacket, you know, seemed fairly intuitive. Just use the special 1, or just really whatever on that fight, man. Anything works. And Thing, it's pretty obviously the special 3 for all of the stacks of degeneration, as you're going to see. This MODOK is just really annoying for the most part, man, and you can see sometimes he's going to play super defensive, and also has aggression regeneration as well, so you really need to play quite aggressively, throw those heavy attacks off. And even with my Hawkeye as 5-star rank 4, I'm getting pummeled a fair bit by the block damage. So if you're using a 3-star version, or like a 4-star rank 3 or 4, you're just going to get absolutely pummeled here on epic difficulty, man. It seems way overtuned, and in comparison to the very first week as well, one of the things that Hawkeye doesn't have is the insane regeneration of Captain America. In fact, there's a complete heal block on this node, so yeah, it's kind of like use potions, use revives to get through it, because again, you can't really like skill your way around this MODOK, because you need to land those direct hits on him, or else he's going to regenerate a lot via aggression regeneration, and there's no way to get rid of that to the best of my knowledge outside of the special 3, and you need, you know, direct hits to gain power. So this MODOK, you know, was a really rubbish fight, man. Again, I'm just not really a fan of this quest overall. I think it's some of the most lazy, overtuned design. I don't really see what they're going for. The rewards overall are really terrible for the effort invested. So if you feel like skipping out this MODOK and this quest, man, I do not blame you for a second. But yeah, after 5 tries, man, I managed to get him down there. Not a bad takedown at all in the end, but I did have some really annoying tries, man. So yeah, that MODOK can be a pain in the ass, and don't feel too frustrated if you die to him. And then finally on this path, we have Thing, who out of all the challenges, I don't know, he's kind of one of my favorites, man. I really enjoyed fighting Thing, because I quite like Thing once you get into the fight. I think he's quite a fun and enjoyable champion to play against, but he does take, you know, a little bit of practice to get used to, and he's definitely like a very tricky champion, especially when he's really stacked. So this Thing does have a rage node. He has buffet, all special attacks are unblockable, aggression regeneration as well, adaptive, all that fun stuff. So the plan against Thing is to get to the special 3, and that way you're going to start, you know, spam applying the degeneration, because you kind of enter like a bleed stance, but because you can't bleed, it's going to be degeneration spam. So yeah, you can get a lot of stacks of degeneration, which along with the despair mastery, and I think that's a pretty crucial mastery if you want to do this as well, is going to negate a lot of the healing from aggression regeneration. So you either need despair, or you need to play very aggressively, because, you know, as many of you probably know, with aggression regeneration, stuff can go very wrong very quickly. So yeah, we're just trying to bait out a special 1 here, get that unblockable, dodge straight out of the way of that, go back in, man. But you have 4 stacks of aggression regeneration. Luckily, we had degeneration up to mitigate the majority of that, but we also did lose out on our degeneration stacks there, because we weren't quick enough at baiting out the special. Then we go for the special 3, which is going to give us the little bleed icon you can see under Hawkeye. That's going to be the passive buff until we next use the special attack. So in this matchup, as long as we have that little orange bleed icon, all of our hits are going to apply degeneration there, which is pretty nice, man. Stacking up, especially with the crit buff that we got after using that first special 3 with not already having a buff there. But especially in this fight, man, I don't really want to use anything that isn't the special 3. So yeah, that crit buff is nice, but I don't think it's worth losing all these degeneration stacks over, because it's just so easy now whenever we get crits to continually refresh and also ramp up the degeneration stacks. So it kind of just seems like the play to go for there. And you can see as the combo is going up and up as well, so is our degeneration damage. So this one, in terms of a good challenge, man, for a 5-star rank for Hawkeye, it is a really good challenge, but I understand a lot of people aren't really in the position where they have a 5-star rank for Hawkeye. So, you know, it's incredibly niche as well. I don't know, man. This event still just has so many question marks for me. It's just very confusing in terms of what exactly they were going for, because again, I'm very aware that this is a very niche bit of gameplay, man, and not everybody has access to a 5-star Hawkeye. And I tried with a 4-star version of Hawkeye as well, but I just could not make like a significant dent in that MODOK without spending a lot of revives. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's the play that they want to go for. Spend a lot of revives to get this done. But yeah, it's just not really that great design, man. I think this is, you know, just by far still one of the worst and most underwhelming events that we've ever seen in MCOC. But things almost down. You know, we got a lot of degeneration damage now, so that's a pretty good time there. And also, after this, man, because I already defeated, like, Thing and MODOK, had some really, really good fights. I was like, okay, I'm going to go for Ebony Maw. But I had a bit of a problem against Ebony Maw. So against Ebony Maw, I wasn't getting hit by special wands or like attacking into Ebony Maw and like missing and getting the degeneration. But you're going to see here, when he throws off a special wand and we have the dexterity buff, the crit buff from that, even though he doesn't make contact, he's going to nullify it and degenerate us, which I didn't really get. So yeah, you can see, even though he doesn't hit us or make any contact, he still strips the buffs, mission complete, and then we degen and die. So it was really stupid, man, and I had so many like annoying attempts like this that it just really, really frustrated me, man. I was on full tilt versus Ebony Maw, and thus I don't have a good kill video, just dying to all of this fun and interactive stuff. What a great time, lads, what a great time. So yeah, that's it for the Hawkeye gameplay today, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you did enjoy it. I just wanted to get some gameplay out this week, but I do understand, man, a lot of you are probably going to be like, I just can't be arsed for this event, and that is absolute fair play. It's, at least in my opinion, it's not really worth the time and effort doing above master for a lot of people. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's up to you. But if you did enjoy today's Hawkeye gameplay, feel free to smash that like button. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.